I did not engage the club. I was trying to engage an on-court concept, and I didn't engage the club in the mission. And when you meet with your club director, or you meet with the club owner who you meet with, they have a responsibility to their club to give them the best that they can give them to make the club grow, to increase lesson revenue, increase the bottom line, and you're there for that reason. And you can't do it without them. You can, but why?
The great thing about iCoach is we know why we exist. We know why Lenny has such passion. We know why Billie joined us. We know what you all are thinking about it too, to some degree, because you see that same potential that's there.
Somebody has a Billie Jean King iCoach, it's not going to get pushed aside. In other words, we're going to have to be really good at how we teach it, and our passion has to go over to the people that are going to buy it, so that this gets used. Then the follow-up with the certificates and things will be real. I mean, we have to use motivation just like you do with anything else. I think that's going to be the real key to it, long term.
Keeping it simple is huge. The more complicated you made it, you lose people. And then you also bring up arguments or why this isn't such a good thing, because they're thinking about this other thing that it isn't even for.
The mission that was today in level 1 is keep this thing so simple that they have nothing, I'm going back to you, they have nothing to talk about except, I get it. I can get the reps at home, I can get a little bit of fun, I can move around, I can have a good time with it, and at the same time, the coach is seeing this, at the same time, I can give myself homework. I can give my homework to the kid, and I can see that that will help him when he gets off the court.
If we talk about the iCoach training the eye, regardless of whether I come under, through, around, or whatever way I strike it,
Sure.
and if we simply leverage that point, we're not going to have to get into all the varied, whether I hit it like Connors or I hit it low to high or high to low or any other way. We can get into, we're training my eye to stay with the ball longer. I'm going to hit whatever stroke I swing better with more
balance.
better balance and better contact point.
And there's an art to telling somebody just enough so that you have credibility, but leave some sort of a tease that lets them think there's a lot more to this than I know, and I want to know more. So to stay in level 1, but let them know that there is a level 2 and a level 3 without getting there and getting into them is an art, I think. And that's why I said what I said on the court before. It's very hard not to, we have all this excitement and passion for something, and it's not in knowledge you want to spill out on everybody, and you can't do it. You've got to hold back. And you said it's easy, Lane, but I don't think it is easy. I think it takes skill and reserve to show the reservation, to keep it an art, simple, but there's a lot more to it than that.
And last time when we went to New Haven, you gave me the lead to present. And at time I was like, we don't know what type of clubs and the type of methodology they're using, because we all have different, concept about how we believe how to play the game. And because the Billie Jean King iCoach has so much potential in so many different levels, you can take it to, here, or here, right? What I was telling Lenny is that just give them the basic, and let them give you the feedback. And based on what they're giving you, as an open question, then you will know how to direct it. Whether it's like for better quality, program, or try to bring more people, in the programs, or now like Chelsea Pierce, they say we're maxed out. All we need is to make sure that those kids can continue practicing, so it can lead you. Like, let the client tell you by giving you the basic to, guide you how you're gonna then maneuver, so you don't give them everything, because you will lose them. A lot of times they might not be interested in so many other things, but only one thing. So you need to let the client lead you to, the next question.
The last thing I'm going to do is get into any discussion about how that guy teaches tennis. I don't care. I really don't care what he teaches. I don't care what his techniques are. All I want him to understand is I want him to feel the balance point, because he's probably never felt that. If he feels that,
Do you guys agree with that?
He's never felt it in a control setting like we have to offer.
Have
That's
you
for
all
sure.
felt the balance point the way you did today?
Oh, yeah.
When you're playing in the zone, it's just so hard to
Once every
replicate.
6 or 9 years.
Go ahead, sorry, Kurt.
And then, when you get into the discussion about, I talk a lot about the 1 second, because when you think about the fact that you only have 1/16 of a second to focus, that's less than half of a blink of an eye. There's not a coach alive that's gonna argue with you that you cannot coach that. You can't. You cannot coach it. And if he's gonna argue with you, then get in your car and go home.
Yeah.
Because there's another coach around the corner that'll listen.
If you remember why, you're gonna come across exactly the way you do from your heart. No words can be put in yourself. You're here to make a difference, period. We know we've got something that will make a difference. You put it into your words, your personality, with your education and all of your different fields, and go run with it. I'm gonna do it my way, you're gonna do it your way, but let's get this first part. Level 1 is keeping it as simple as possible, no selling. We're here for one reason, and yeah, we want to sell machines, but we want these machines to make a difference.
All right, first of all, why I'm doing here, actually, I started with playing tennis. I thought about tennis. It's something simple. You have a racket this big, you have a ball this small. All you need to do is knock the ball over the court, somebody knock it back, right? If you can run, you can hit. It's not something very complicated, until I got involved with landing. I changed my mind. So, what I basically brainwashed by landing, and tennis is complicated. Tennis is a different science, because my background is medicine and science. So actually, I would like to start with my interpretation, 2 things. What is basic instinct, and what is muscle memory? Okay. I would like to say is, we want to play, Lenny keeps saying you got to play with the instinct. But the basic instinct is when you see something flying towards your head, you do this, turn away. You don't do this. So that's the basic instinct. You protect your most important part against the threat. Something comes to you, you're afraid. You turn around, ready to run. That's the basic instinct. Do you have a basic instinct to hit tennis ball? You do not. So it's trained reflection process. It's not necessarily basic instinct. So it's difficult to train the old dog new tricks. So I'm an old dog. It's very hard for Lenny to teach me to play tennis in the right way, right? But I also see a different type of old dogs. Okay. It's the pros. They play young, they repeat a process so many times. It's more difficult to change their habit, to change their way to play tennis in a different way. So they also fall into the category of old dogs. So who are the customers of iCoach? We have a spectrum from people play tennis with closed eyes, don't see the ball, play tennis. Can you do that? The other extreme is like Roger Federer. Really eye focus on the ball, hit the ball at the right time. So the tennis racket is this big. You can bump over a ball to the court using the so-called not the sweet spot. But even Roger Federer make mistakes, even hitting the ball not at the perfect timing, not at the mid center of the racket. So I saw actually in the tennis channel. So when Roger Federer giving a perfect swing, but the ball fly high out the court. Or same perfect swing with eye on it, but it's not in the perfect condition, the ball fly into the net. If you really look at the swing, you can't tell much difference. But what I see actually in the racket is, sometimes you hit the racket slightly above the center. When it's hard ball, the racket turns this way slightly and come back. That ball invariably fly high and off the court. You hit the bottom part of the racket, just briefly, the racket turns this way, the ball goes down. The rest of the swing is equally perfect, beautiful. So I think you have to hit right perfect, right timing, and right and a sweet spot to make perfect shot. How you can do that? You can't do it with eyes closed. you have to do with the eye focused. So that's what it is. So everybody else, I conceive, should be the customers of eye coach, somewhere in between. No one played balls with eyes closed, but very few, top few, play the ball, right timing with eye focus. The secondly, what is the muscle memory? Let me start with muscle have no memory. You don't remember anything with your muscle. Even the basic reflection, when the physician knocks on your knee, the basic reflection involves neural system. But the reflection is at a lower level. So your mind have two levels. One is conscious, one is subconscious. That part, important part, located between the 2 ears. Right? You can't say not thinking, not thinking, just trust muscle memory. We understand what it's saying, but medically, that's not correct. You have to think, you have to go through your mind. So all reflection, the so-called muscle memory, is a complete neurological muscle circuit reflection. Missing any part is not complete. So you have to go through the sensory organ, go to the peripheral nerve, go to the central nervous system, and get complex process, and come back. Your brain tell you what you do with your body. You have a limited interference, be focused with your brain, complete a peripheral circle in your neurological system, then direct you do the perfect healing. How do you do that? Repetition, repetition, and more repetition. So that's what the eye coach will do for you.
My name is Peter Schmidt. I'm here at Lenny Schloss's house in the beautiful Dunes West in the #1 city in the world, Charleston, South Carolina. I'm here because I met Lenny 7 years ago, and we ended up starting an academy, which we're about to leave at Family Circle Tennis Center. And the reason why we're leaving is because Lenny's dream of 25 or however many years of growing what used to be the eye coach into Billie Jean King's eye coach is starting to explode and take off, and I'm on a mission with Lenny and the rest of the great people that I met here this past weekend to see if we can take this thing to the next level and help the world, help kids and adults improve their tennis and lead an active and healthy lifestyle. So that's why I'm here.
I am Jane Schloss, and I'm Lenny's wife, 40 years. I've been involved for 20 of those 40 years with the eye coach, and it's very exciting right now because everything's coming to fruition, and it's like a dream come true, and it has turned out to be the amazing piece of equipment that we intended it to be and hoped and prayed that it would be.
Hi, I'm Danielle Smith.
And I'm Hannah Gudger,
And we are
Billie Jean King's eye coach team.
I have worked with the eye coach and with Lenny Schloss for about a little over a year now.
And I've been with Lenny and Danielle at the eye coach for about 5 months now. Just helping them out, doing some shipments, marketing, that kind of thing.
And I do all the sales, marketing, social media, assist Lenny in pretty much all the aspects of the offices right here.
My name is Grady McKee. I'm the director of tennis at El Dorado Country Club in McKinney, Texas. I'm also the treasurer of the DPTA for the Dallas Professional Tennis Association. We have been a partner with the Billie Jean King Eye Coach program for the last 3 to 4 years. We have had a lot of success. We have had success in not only cardio, but junior development. We've had success with our beginner juniors and our beginner adults. We have a 98% retention rate with those beginners because of the Billie Jean King Eye Coach. We use it at home, we use it on court. We definitely stress that you can get better in 5 weeks or less if you use our program. We're a believer, so should you.
Hello, I'm Dr. Bryce Young, and we're partnering with Billie Jean King's Eye Coach. We love what we're doing, both in sports psychology and mental coaching for young people and the next generation of tennis players. We think that everything that's happening with the Eye Coach is going to benefit the sport, both on and off the court. Thank you so much for having us.
Hi, I'm Linda LeClaire, and I also am working with the Billie Jean King Eye Coach in helping my clients in mental training to be able to focus and stay in the moment. And this is one of the biggest challenges that the athletes working with us have is how do you stay in the moment? How do you focus solely on the ball? And we've been working, with clients for years and attempting to help them do that. And this has been a tool that we have found that we can now use that is going to advance their progress so much faster. And so we're really, really excited about this new unit, this new machine, this new product that people can use.
Billie Jean King's iCoach helps us help people. The way it does it is that what we're having right now is a microwave society where everybody's wired in, everybody's filled with an iPad and an iPod, and from morning to night we're overstimulated. What the Billie Jean King iCoach is doing is helping us help extend concentration. We're lengthening the length of time that each individual can stay with something, can stay with a tennis ball, can stay with concentration. It's giving us the ability to allow people to really do what they love doing and to play a sport not only for the moment but for a lifetime. And they're staying with the sport longer, they're playing, they're staying once they play. And what could be more fun than to take up a game that you enjoy, you fall in love with, and then to extend it for the rest of your life.
If, as an athlete, you take charge of the fundamentals of that sport, whatever sport it is, then you're going to be able to compete at the level that you are capable of competing. And all the really good shots that you have within you come from those fundamental shots. And obviously in tennis, one of the fundamentals is a point of contact, that your eye is on the ball. And that's something now that I can do with the Billie Jean King's iCoach, is have it actually in my office. And I can have them, I could, demonstrate, and I can, show them what we're talking about, and then they can get their own iCoach and take it home, and they can train their eye to be focused. So it gives me something actually concrete that I can use with them for this very, very important fundamental part of the game.
We're now finding out with sports psychology and mental coaching that really what we are as athletes is we're the source of our habits. We're the essence of us is what we're able to do on and off the court. What the Billie Jean King iCoach does for us is allow us to develop our habits, and that's really what we are. We're a bundle of either good or bad habits, and the Billie Jean King iCoach allows us to build good habits from the very beginning. And so all of a sudden we've finally found a way to eliminate tons and tons of bad habits and lots of wasted hours. And for someone like me who grew up in a cold weather climate, how exciting to have the ability to go in an office, to go in a room. When I'm snowed out or rained out, I'm building good habits all day long. What a wonderful gift this is for all of us.
My name is Roger Dowdswell. I'm from Zimbabwe originally, now New York City. Well, I played Davis Cup for Zimbabwe and played on the tour a number of years. I played all the major tournaments. Well, I began playing when I was 3. My mother was a former professional player. Well, she wasn't professional because there were no professional players in those days, but she played Wimbledon and began teaching tennis later in her life. And well, when I started teaching, I thought I knew everything. 2 years later, I looked back and I thought, well, I didn't know anything then. Now I know everything. And I hadn't even met the eye coach. So it's been a continual learning process for me, which I really enjoy. I mean, it's, this weekend with spending time with all the other participants was wonderful, hearing their comments, views, opinions, suggestions. I've been involved with Lenny and the eye coach for, well, I've known about the eye coach for 25 years, but only recently have I really begun to understand why it's such a unique tool for learning tennis. I've noticed I've never really used the eye coach in the way that I'm beginning to understand is actually the most valuable, which is having the student practice at home. I have encouraged a number of students to purchase an eye coach and take it home, but I never realized, I always used it really as an on-court teaching device, and now I'm realizing it's really an off-court. It's really a home gym for the eye, as Lenny said, which makes so much sense now, because obviously if someone uses this at home, there's going to be significant improvement. Can't help but be improvement. Whatever the technique is, if they're practicing using the eye correctly, there's going to be a huge amount of improvement. Yeah, once you understand what this device actually does teach the student, because they teach themselves. They learn on the eye coach itself with the repetitions. And once you as a pro understand how unique and how invaluable this is, I cannot imagine any teaching pro not wanting every one of his students to have one of these. It's such an obvious blessing for a teaching pro to have a student go home and practice the strokes, which is what's missing with most students, particularly for me. I teach in Manhattan, and there aren't very many tennis courts in Manhattan, so a lot of players come for a lesson and then they come back the next week for a lesson, and they haven't hit any balls in between. Occasionally some of them will be able to play once or twice, but if you can have a student who's hitting 150 balls every single day, you just cannot help but see the improvement is going to be incredibly increased.
Okay. Hi, I'm Kenda Heart. I'm the director of tennis at AVAC in San Jose, California. I'm a USA High Performance Coach. I'm a PTR International Pro, US PTA Master Pro, and two-time International Pro of the Year, which doesn't mean a whole lot, just means I've been around for a long time. I teach a lot of players, from beginners, from 4-year-olds up to 85-year-olds. And in the process of trying to do those, my goal is, how do I get players to be better quicker? And one of the things they have to do is practice. And how they practice will determine how fast they'll improve. And one of the best products I've ever found to get that home improvement before they come back to me again is the Billie Jean Eye Coach. And what makes it really work, whether I show them how to use it or not, is we have a contract. And you'll get it when you get your Billie Jean Eye Coach. And it says, here's 7 days a week, here's 5 weeks. And on that contract, I sign it, you sign it, and the parent signs it. And it's our agreement that you will practice. And when you come back to your next lesson again, you bring it in, and I see that you did 300 hits, or you hit 5 minutes, whatever. But we have an accountable way where we have this agreement. And that's part of my commitment to you, that I can help you get better if you'll help yourself. And so the contract is one of the key pieces of your Billie Jean Eye Coach, is not only the hitting time that you get, but documenting. Because we know the things that are documented are accountable and measurable. And that's what we're looking for. And part of my goal is to help you have an accountable and measurable success with your tennis game. And the way that works is if we come to the agreement. So the key part for me in the Billie Jean Eye Coach is that you can go hit, and you can train and get 5,000 quality hits in addition to the time we're going to spend together, in addition to the time you're going to go play, and you're going to find immediate results. I will challenge you not to see improvement. And then the biggest thing we're looking for here is how to keep your mind quiet. I mean, there's all types of sports psychology going on and factual information going on, but really says when I hit the ball, where should my eye be so I don't have a thought? And as a player, I still compete a lot. Been ranked top 5 in the country the last 30 years in the USPTA and the PTR as a player. And I don't get a chance to practice much at all because I teach 10 to 12 hours a day. But I hit on my eye coach before I go play a tournament. And I visualize in my mind what it's going to feel like because I have the feel from the Billie Jean eye coach. When I go to play, it takes a few minutes to hit the ball and already my feeling's locked in again. I have recently lost in the semifinals to a really good player in this PTR Nationals, and I could tell when I started to swing, when my eye moved, my racket decelerated. And obviously the ball didn't go over the net or went in the net when I hit it again. It wasn't the thought of anything other than, I'm afraid of what's on the other side. There's a big guy coming to the net. The shots that I made, I had no fear of the other side because I was on my side of the ball and not on the other side. So as a player, you begin to have these sensations and you'll experience a whole new level of play and in confidence and mental toughness. The mental toughness factor in the Billie Jean eye coach is that I believe if I keep my eye here, I will not be afraid of what's over there. And when I play, I'm really afraid of things that I don't see, or things that I think are in there. Like I'm afraid of things in the dark. Why? Because I can't see them. I'm afraid of the speed of the ball. Why? Because I can't see it. But when I see the ball there, it all slows down. And you have those magic moments when you play out of your mind. You say, wow, I wish I could duplicate that again. You can with the Billie Jean eye coach, because you'll find out what it's like to, as you track the ball correctly, the ball slows down. As you keep your eyes still in that last 10th of a second before you hit it, you'll feel like, I know exactly what I'm going to do. So the confidence comes within you. I can't give it to you, only you can get it. And that's part of my goal with the Billie Jean King eye coach, is help you experience all that you can be quickly.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Pardo. I come from France. I played with the French Federation for 6-7 years and played on the tour, and I had also an opportunity to come here in the US and play for college in Division I. I have an academy called the Tennis Academy up in the Northeast, and one of the reasons that I love the eye coach is it helps my kids who are part of the academy to continue practicing. We all know that we don't get enough reps in one practice or two practice. I had the opportunity with the federation to play every day, but we don't have that as a luxury, whether because of time or budget. And for me, I wanted to make sure that I could continue make a difference in my kids' experience with tennis, and it was one of the greatest things that I could, bump into. But the eye coach has so much more potential than just getting into the reps. I think that the reason that many of us were on the tour, that we practice so much on the court, is because we needed to make sure that we could train so many components that makes us more performant, when we play. And one of them is making sure with our eye. A lot of us think that we need a lot of conditioning, we need a lot of different things, but I truly believe that we play with our body, but we win with our mind, and the eye is the start of anything else you would do. So if you have a breakdown from the eye, everything is going through a domino effect. That means the decoding will be wrong. So it doesn't matter if you have the right grip, it doesn't matter if you have the conditioning, but if your eye is not trained properly, you will always be plateauing at certain levels. So I think this is a breakthrough, and it's a huge progress, a step forward for the evolution of tennis. I like the most is the fact that not only you can incorporate your conditioning into it, you can perfect some of your stroke that you didn't feel like you did properly, either during practice or after a match. So you want to make sure you finish on a good note. But I also think back in the days I had and many of us had to do that, to stay 3, 4, 5 hours on the court every day. What does it mean for our body? The wear and tear. Now what you can do in 5 minutes, you can execute about 150 to 175 shots, and and get that more efficient and really practice smarter. I think it's a huge component. It's like, I think as we progress with the evolution of tennis, we have to find ways that we minimize our wear and tear during practice, because it's going to happen during performance because we give our best, and how we can channel all those different components to make sure we're more efficient, player and ready for what we need to be doing.